Welcome back to the ticket setup series. In today's session, we're going to focus in on ticket automations. Ticket automations allow for you as a ticket administrator to evaluate the property changes of a ticket, and based upon the evaluation of those property changes equaling true, be able to perform different actions. Those different actions could be creating new tickets, updating the evaluated ticket, so maybe changing the category or the priority or the team assignment, the ability to send out custom email or Teams notifications, as well as be able to apply templates with custom forms to the actual ticket. When you're ready to set up an automation, you're going to travel over to the settings area, and then you're going to go to ticket automations. Now, once here, you're going to notice that there's actually two out-of-the-box automations waiting for you. We always recommend turning these on. They're kind of a best practice. So I'll go ahead and do that now, and I'll talk about them. So what these two automations are doing, and they actually work together, is when an agent resolves a ticket, this first automation is setting the resolution date of that ticket. And then the second automation is evaluating that resolution date on a daily basis. And if it's been longer than 3 days, and you can change that, but after 3 days, we're going to automatically close the ticket. Why is this important? Well, the idea here is that you're going to allow for your agents to resolve tickets, but then you're giving the end user X amount of days to communicate back to the agent whether or not they feel like the ticket should have been resolved. And if 3 days elapses, then we'll close the ticket and then tombstone the ticket. We're going to go create a new automation now, which will talk through how to actually set up those types of things. But we always recommend customers turning on those two out-of-the-box notifications. Now, when you are ready to create a new automation, you'll click New Automation, and then you'll have the opportunity to actually set the properties of that automation. Now, I'm going to be working against an anchored example, which is when a ticket's category changes to onboarding. I'm going to be working through a bunch of different scenarios here, but that's going to be my anchored example as I work through those scenarios. So for my title, I'm going to say when a ticket, when the category changes to onboarding, do X. Now, X can be anything, updating a ticket, creating a ticket, sending in a notification. And I'm going to show this to you in a few minutes here. Description is just that. It's optional. When you're ready to turn on the automation, you don't have to. You can play with it a little bit. But when you're ready, you can enable that. And then you'll actually set up the actual automation itself. The first thing I want to highlight is that an automation has three major parts. There's a when area. The when is when the ticket is evaluated. And when that ticket is evaluated, the next major part is the if section. That's when you're evaluating the property changes. So example, when a ticket's created, I want to evaluate if the category changes to onboarding. And then there's the do section. The do section is the action. So I want to create a ticket, update the existing ticket that's being evaluated, send an email notification or Teams notification via notification center, or apply a template. Now we'll walk through each one of these sections now, framed around this category change that I mentioned previously. So in the when area, there's two options. There's on a schedule or on an event. On a schedule means that every hour, every day, every week, every month, or every year, we're going to run this automation. And if the if area and the properties area evaluate equal true, then we'll go do something. In my example, I'm going to use on an event because I want to evaluate when a category changes to onboarding. And when I choose on an event, I'm actually given two options here. I'm given entity name and trigger type. So entity name is the ability to change the type of entity you're evaluating. I'm evaluating the ticket category, so I'm going to keep it to ticket. But maybe you want to evaluate when a task changes or a life cycle progresses or an approval is approved or an SLA is breached. You have the ability to do that by changing the entity type here. Once you choose the entity type, you're then given a trigger type. In my example, I'm going to use added or modified because when a ticket's created or a ticket's modified, you can apply a category, but you can focus in on just one of those actions. Maybe you just want to focus in on when tickets are created or tickets are modified. You have the optionality here with the trigger type. Once you're happy with the when area, then you're going to travel to the if area. Now, the if area is the properties you're actually going to evaluate that are changing. And I'm going to highlight a few things in here. So the first thing is I'm going to click on the property dropdown. You're going to see all the ticket properties here. I'm looking for a category change. So I'm going to choose category, and then my evaluation type is going to be change to. Say equals, and then I'm going to choose the category of onboarding. Now, a couple of things I want to highlight here. First is that each group, and we're currently in our group, can have one or more filters, and those filters can be evaluated by an and or an or. So maybe I want to evaluate when the priority equals high as well. I want to go do something, so I have the option to do that. I can also add multiple groups, and the secondary group can also be evaluated, those filters, by an and or, and I can further set ticket properties here. And the thing I want to highlight here is that there's literally thousands of options here in the evaluation area, and it's pretty limitless. So I always tell customers to start small, get comfortable with it, and then build out automations that are more robust over time. I'll go ahead and remove these for the purpose of this demonstration. Now, once I'm happy with the if area, then I'll move over to the do area. So there's 4 action types. I'm going to kind of walk through all of them here. There's create, update, notification center, and apply templates. So if I click on create, this will create a new ticket, and I can then set the properties of that new ticket. So maybe I want the team to be HR, and I want the group to be something else. Things of that nature. That's one example. Maybe I want to update the existing ticket instead of create. So I'm going to update the ticket to HR and set the group to HR support. That's another action type that you could do. Maybe I actually want to send out a notification. I can go to Notification Center and I can choose whether to send a Teams notification to requesters, assignees, different assignment types on the actual ticket, and be able to curate notifications through the Ticket app or Ticket Virtual Agent, or be able to send out email notifications. And then, by the way, this will do both Teams and or email if you have both on, and the different assignment types there, as well as the ability to curate notifications here. The one thing I want to highlight here as you're looking at this is you do see these blue variables. These are just ticket properties. So if you do open curly brackets a couple times, you'll see all the ticket properties available to you, and you can add those as you're creating these custom messages. The last action I want to highlight here is applying a template. So maybe when the category changes to onboarding, I want to apply my new hire template. And then I have the option, based upon applying that template, to be able to decide whether I want to send the custom form associated with that template to the requester via Ticket Virtual Agent. All very powerful options, and it's very variable depending on the type of outcome you want from the evaluation of an automation. This is where we're going to go ahead and end the session. Really hope you enjoyed it. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one.